Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. It will be 40 years before Bradley Curtis Coger, age 41, will be eligible for parole following a decision by a Hopkins County jury in 8th Judicial District Court Thursday evening. Coger was found guilty of a felony 1, indecency with a child, and a felony 2, indecency with a child. It took the jury less than 15 minutes to determine guilt. It took them just over an hour to set the sentence. He was sentenced to life in prison on the felony 1 and to 20 years for the felony 2. The sentences will be stacked, leading to 40 years before eligible for parole. The district attorney told KSST News that the state and his office would bear most of the expense of the trial. They had visited 4 different states, brought witnesses from 4 different states, and witnesses from Canada as well. He stated that the county would have very little expense in this particular trial. Court costs of around $1,300 were assessed to Coger by the judge. Ramsey said to bring justice to this situation was worth every penny spent. Hopkins County Commissioners Court unanimously voted to purchase new voting equipment for the county clerk's office. The new equipment will be ready for early voting in March primary, according to County Clerk Debbie Shirley. Last Monday, commissioners had tabled the purchase of the technologically advanced voting equipment, but following a budget work session on Monday, they put the item on a special meeting agenda for Friday today. Danny Evans moved to take the item off the table, and Wade Bartley seconded the motion. The equipment will cost $436,545, which is a price less than previously quoted prices. The purchase agreement and the price was approved by the Texas Secretary of State, who has to approve all voting equipment purchases in the state. It was approved prior to Monday's meeting by the Secretary of State. By paying for the equipment at the time of the purchase, an additional savings of interest on payments of $93,000 was available to the county. The purchase will also secure the machines programmed for the March 1st or the March 6th primary election and all elections for this year. There will be on-site support for the machines during each of the 3 elections, beginning with early voting. Wade Bartley moved to purchase the equipment, and Mike Odell seconded the motion. Following the special session Friday, commissioners met in a budget work session to discuss the construction of a courthouse annex adjacent to the new county jail.
And it doesn't seem like it could be 27 years since the first Martin Luther King Jr. Award ceremony was held in Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County. And with us is founder Dr. M. Lavelle Hendricks and his dignified guests.
Good morning, Nola. How are you today?
Hello.
And with us in Nola, we have the president of the university, Dr. Ray Keck, and our vice president for media relations, Mr. Noah Nelson.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Good morning.
And Noah, you mentioned a few minutes ago, Nola, about 27 years. We've looked at the records. We have presented awards to over 3,500 folks here in Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County over the last 27 years. And on Monday night at 7 p.m., we'll have the 27th annual program, and we're very fortunate and happy to have Dr. Mark Bryant, pastor at First Baptist, who will be our speaker this year. So it looks to be a great time again.
May the public attend?
By all means, the public can attend. It's a free event. It's at Morning Chapel Baptist Church on Fuller Street here. We encourage everyone to come out to enjoy a wonderful time. And we're always pleased to have the president of A&M Commerce, who serves as our master of ceremony. That's Dr. Ray Keck.
Good morning.
Thank you for your interest in this event and in Sulphur Springs.
Well, this event is what is an American is more important than to remember the example of Martin Luther King. In a fractured world and a fractured society, this is a man about healing, a man about looking into the heart. This is a model that we want our students to study and to internalize and to live. So I'm honored to be a part of this, and Sulphur Springs is, of course, a part of A&M Commerce and life here. I enjoy tremendously going around the city and meeting people. It seems like half of the city graduated from A&M Commerce. East Texas State.
Yes, exactly so.
And also, we're very pleased that many of our students at A&M Commerce, Vontice Johnson, these will be recipients of an award this year. And of course, because of the spirit of Dr. King, we have Mr. Noah Nelson, and he had the privilege and opportunity. It's a wonderful story of meeting one of the civil rights icons, Rosa Parks herself.
Tell us about it, Noah.
I used to be a television reporter, and one of the things that it always affords you is a chance to meet famous people and infamous people too. But this had nothing to do with my job in this particular case. A friend of mine was doing a documentary on Rosa Parks and said, "You've got to come over to my house. This is in Los Angeles, and have dinner with me tonight." And I said, "Well, I live on the other side of town. I got other plans." He said, "No, you've got to come. You've got to come." And he twisted, my arm and my wife's arm and said, you won't regret this. So we went, and we're sitting there, and then, there's a knock on the door, and 3 people walk in, and one of them is Rosa Parks, the Rosa Parks. And she was an elderly lady at this point. This is probably, I'd say, 15 years ago or so. And I just wanted to ask her, the question she's been asked many times: did you plan to do what you did on that day when you said no to giving up your seat on the bus, and igniting the civil rights movement even more? She said, "I had thought about it before. It wasn't planned for that particular day, but that day my feet hurt, and I just said, this is the day that I'm going to do it." And there were others who were like in the movement who were planning to do that as well. But she chose that day, and it could have been that she had gone to jail and no one ever picked it up as a story or whatever. But she was the perfect candidate to symbolize the civil rights movement on that day, at that time, in that year, because she was a teacher, I believe. She was a model citizen. It wasn't like she was a troublemaker in the town or whatever that they can paint you with. She was an honorable person. And so she was the perfect person to say no on that particular day. And it was an honor to meet her. And I have my picture taken with her, and and it's just one of the things I cherish.
Well, of course, Rosa Parks, an icon. And I've found that as we meet people and we ask the obvious questions at that time, and as we grow older in our career, we find we've taken something deeper away with a meeting of someone like that.
I think so. I look at that picture from time to time just to remind myself that, the great people come into your presence, and you've got to take advantage of those moments when you meet them, and grab a little bit of their greatness and a little bit of their courage, and weave it into your own life.
Well, and Noah, last year you worked it out for Cornell West to come to the university.
Exactly.
And that had that effect on our students.
Dr. Cornell West, who's kind of a superstar of intellectuals these days, and he's going to come back to our university again. We've invited him back for March the 19th, 2 months from now, to come back to our campus and talk about the status of American politics and race relations, and just the whole array of things that are bugging us and making us better. He's a very positive person, but he doesn't pull any punches about what it is we have to do to become a better society.
But I can tell you, every single student and every faculty member, every person in that auditorium in Ferguson Hall that day left saying, "I will never forget this."
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
And the beautiful thing about it is, aside from having Dr. Cornell West, Ambassador Andrew Young, one of Dr. King's personal assistant, has been on our campus. Dr. Robert Green, one of Dr. King's assistants. Only 3 left: Dr. Robert Green, Ambassador Andrew Young, and of course Congressman John Lewis. And we've been very fortunate to have those individuals on campus, and many folks here in the Sulphur Springs area, Hopkins County, come in attendance. But with our program on Monday night, as you know, a program of this nature can never come off without the support of folks like yourself and KSST, and of course Dr. Harold Nash at Morning Chapel Church, Tom Sellers at Alliance Bank, and then Roy King at City National Bank, Judge Robert Newsom, Judge Eddie Northcutt, Judge Yvonne King. I mean, the list can go on and on, Commissioner Wade Bartlett, and so forth. So Sulphur Springs embraces this program that we have each year, and it's just an honor to have it.
So you have found people appropriately to be honored who reflect the values of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That is correct, and there have been several articles that are out already. Angela Sanders with our Spiritual Award, Barbara Brown with our Spirit of Dependability, Kevin DeVase, Joyce Moore, Pastor D.K. Young, who will be our Father of the Year. So we have many on here. George Taylor, for the most part, our Choice of Excellence. And the beautiful thing about it is we work with Superintendent Mike Lamb, and we get a chance to bring in teachers and students from Sulphur Springs ISD. Sylvester Alexandra at Douglas Elementary. She brings 3 students that will be giving their renditions of Living the Dream and the Life of Dr. Martin Luther King. And those young people do such a wonderful job, and I really appreciate what Mike Lamb, our superintendent, does to make sure that we continue to have this program in our area.
Who is the guest speaker?
The guest speaker this year will be Dr. Mark Bryant, pastor of First Baptist Church. Look forward to hearing his address. Mark has done so much work here in our community, an outstanding leader, and we're just very fortunate enough to have him to be our speaker. But also keep in mind, we'll also have some very uplifting, vibrant music going on as well. And I just can't stress the importance that this is a multiracial, ecumenical gathering here in Sulphur Springs at Morning Chapel. It starts at 7 o'clock on Monday night. It's a free event, no tickets or anything to get in. So we encourage everyone to come out and enjoy a wonderful time living and expressing the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Now, it will be at Morning Chapel in their sanctuary. And if you have not been to Morning Chapel before, do take the opportunity. It's a very, very warm and loving church.
Pastor Harold Nash and all the members there at Morning Chapel, they do an excellent job. And again, this is a coming together of all of our individuals here in our community. We get assistance from Walmart. We'll have refreshments and everything afterwards. But I can't stress the importance of having Texas A&M University Commerce presence there as well. Darrell Peace is our alumni director. Many of our guests here in the area, many of the Sulphur Springs folks also are graduates of A&M Commerce or East Texas State University, so they will be in attendance. And of course, when you have the president and CEO, Dr. Ray Keck, who will serve as our MC, it also adds a tremendous value and worth to the program.
And Dr. Keck, you didn't have to have your arm twisted to do this, did you?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm so proud of the tradition that I'm privileged to step into, and that in this part of Texas, that people look to Dr. King for guidance and inspiration, and that young people know who he is. And it's hard for me to imagine that most of the country now doesn't remember Dr. King. It's that far back, because for us it's so vivid, and so these sorts of opportunities are essential so that young people can hear and learn and grow in all the ways that his example allows.
And Noah, I know you're very modest, but you've been privileged and had opportunities to have an effect, a profound effect on young people through your work at the university, of one of many.
Well, I think that's kind of the mission, whether you're working in student services or facilities or whatever, is to kind of have an impact on the lives of young people in that context. And I have to tell you that I never thought about being a college administrator or a teacher, because I was a journalist for so long that's all I ever wanted to do. And so this is really kind of a departure from what I have been doing. And I found a lot of satisfaction just watching these kids grow in many ways, different ways, move on with their lives. And it seems to be like a higher calling in some ways than even being a television personality. That's kind of your ego. But this has no ego in it. It's all about giving. And I appreciate that opportunity.
Texas A&M Commerce is a beautiful campus. And if you wish to begin or continue your career studies, I don't think classes start till what, Tuesday?
The day after MLK Day, next Tuesday.
One of the great things, as you know, Enola, that happened recently at A&M Commerce is we won the national title in Division II football, and the president can share with our listening audience what a treat that has been for us.
Oh, treat, and an unimaginable experience. And this is one of those stories that the closer you get to it, the more you know, the better it is. This is a team that won 15 games, played 15 games, won 14 of them. This is at that level of competition, when you're talking about a national championship, everybody's good. At any game, our team might have not won. And our astounding coach, Colby Carthel, and the students that he's guided and mentored and led, his principles are very much in line with Dr. King's. Colby's a man of deep spiritual depth and very serious focus. And the students that train under him and play under him are really just exemplary young men. I consider it a privilege to represent them and talk about what they did. The championship required them, after the season ended, to win 5 games, straight games, 5 weekends in a row. The first 3, 2 of them were in Minnesota, 1 of them was in Central Washington. They went against 3 teams that had a combined record of 34-1, and amazing. We beat all 3. And then the 4th game was here in Commerce, because by then we were vying for the championship. And of course, the last game was in Kansas City. Tremendously grateful to John Sharp and the Texas University system, A&M University system, because that game in Kansas City was the day of our graduation. And of course, the president cannot not be at graduation. But our 4th ceremony ended at 3:45 on the afternoon of the 16th, and the A&M University system had a plane waiting. And we jumped on it and got off in Kansas City in the 2nd quarter. We're there for the game. And
wow.
Again, we won that game because of Colby's astounding ability to coach and those students' desire to do it and focus and dedication. Just a spectacular moment.
Thank you for sharing that story.
And one of the great stories is when we played Central Washington. I know we have to go. It was the 4th quarter. It was 4th down. We're on the 4-yard line. It was 4 seconds left, and number 4 caught the touchdown. I mean, how can you add all of that up together?
A good number, 4.
For sure. But again, we're looking forward to everyone coming out Monday night, 7 o'clock at Morning Chapel Baptist Church for our 27th annual MLK program, and Dr. Mark Bryant will be our keynote speaker.
Okay. And we know you as the originator or founder of the MLK Awards, Dr. M. Lavelle Hendricks, but you're a professor. You're also a pastor.
Yeah, my greatest love, my greatest calling is to be a servant leader, to assist those who are in need. That's the greatest calling anyone could ever have.
Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will see you Monday night.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
In their opening game of the 2018 Longhorn Classic in Austin Thursday, the Wildcats soccer team just came up short against Humble, losing 1-0. Wildcat soccer coach Nicky Wiggins said Brandon Diosdado, Rafael Lopez, DJ Abram, Alexis Escobedo, and Andrew Escobar all played well. He added Lopez, the goalkeeper, had 6 saves. The Wildcats managed 4 shots on goal. Coach Wiggins said Humble was a very seasoned team. He said the Wildcats played hard. Coach Wiggins also said the Wildcats turned the ball over some, and he added Humble capitalized on mistakes that the Wildcats made. The Wildcats are now 2-4 for the season. They played Austin Lanier on Friday. Lanier was impressive Thursday in that Austin tournament, winning their opening game 5-0 against Pflugerville Weiss. The Lady Cats soccer team and the Lady Raiders of Amarillo Canyon Randall battled to a 0-0 tie on the opening day of a 3-day Paris tournament on Thursday. The Lady Cats season record is now 4-1-1, and they faced Tyler Chapel Hill on Friday. Chapel Hill also played to a 0-0 tie Thursday against Paris. This year's Sulphur Springs powerlifting meet at the multipurpose building Saturday could be a huge one. Wildcats powerlifting coach Casey Jeter said there could be as many as 500 lifters, including 100 to 150 girls. Coach Jeter said that would make this meet the largest in the state, except for the state meet. Weigh-in begins Saturday at 6:30 a.m. and will continue until 8:30 a.m. The first lifters should get started at about 9. There will be 10 different platforms. Coach Jeter said his Wildcats will have 2 complete teams at the meet, and he said they want to win the meet. He said they only lost one lifter, a senior who graduated off of last year's squad that sent a large number of lifters to regional and some to state. Senior Deidrick Dugan, who went to state last year, returns to lift in the 242-pound weight class. Senior Cortavius Pruitt also went to state last year, but he won't be able to lift this season due to a severe knee injury suffered during football season. Senior Ian Blanche, a regional lifter last year, returns to compete in the 275-pound weight class. Carson Bridges, a regional lifter last year, will be in the 181-pound weight class. George Greenway returns to compete in a heavier class this year, 181-pound weight class. Hayden Keller will also compete Saturday. Coach Jeter said a couple of new lifters have joined the team, Austin Dodd and Damian Dugan. The Wildcats are expected to face a lot of tough lifters and good teams on Saturday.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.